Juan Mendez Scott's Big Sexy. Chapter 6. Netta. My best friend Lucina was a short, elegant woman with big, curious eyes and long, luxuriant auburn hair. I was sipping on a glass of wine, standing in front of the strong shelf that held Lucina's large record collection. I peeped over my back at Lucina and gave her that famous devilish grin of mine. Lucina was sitting curled up on the couch of her one-bedroom apartment in Fort Washington, herself sipping on a glass of wine, moving to one of the many Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell songs she always played from her brand-new, up-to-date record player she just bought. Finally, she had something to play all of her old records along with her dead parents' old records on. Lucina gave me a look of warning. That was supposed to scare me, I guess, and said, "You need to stop." I paid her no attention. "So tell me, when you're old and decrepit and in need of money to add on to your monthly retirement chump change, will you sell this antique music collection of yours?" "No, I'm going to have the cemetery dig a bigger hole and have all my records buried with me," Lucina said, joking. Walking over and sitting down beside Lucina, I asked her, "So, you want to have some fun with me or what?" "What do you mean?" "What were we just talking about, Lucina? I would help you because it does sound like some dangerous fun, but..." "I'm on probation with a police record," Lucina said, joking about her most recent relationship. "That might not be a good idea, helping my best friend steal away the husband of an insane woman." "Oh, I forgot about your probation. How's that going?" "Long as I stay away from Doug and his brand new wife, I'm fine. One day you'll find the right man where you won't have to threaten to kill him," I said, giggling. Then I thought to myself for a moment, "You know, speaking of threats, Maggie did threaten to kill me. Maybe I should call the police on her and have her locked up." "You could. Or you could just not bother the poor girl." "Her husband looks just like Rick Ross," I said, smiling all over the place. Lucina looked at me with guilt and understanding. "Really?" she said, smiling. "You know how much we love us some Rick Ross." "Yeah, but is loving a Rick Ross look-alike worth you losing your life, though?" "The real reason could be that I never liked Maggie Foster. I never liked her at all. I couldn't stand her." Lucina frowned, trying to understand. "Why? She sounds pitiful." "She just thought she was better than everybody. She was so condescending to people. Then when she started going with Craig, oh my God, she just made people sick, especially me and my crew." "So how did you end up with him, though?" "He would always flirt with me after cheerleader practice. He was easy to get." "Was he a bun?" I nodded and said, "Craig was on his way to stardom. He got a scholarship to play for the Florida Gators." "So if he had all that going for him, what the hell happened?" "He just fell in love with me. I mean, crazy in love. I liked him too, and..." Then with no shame at all, I smiled, continuing with, "I loved his money." "His family had money?" "Did they? His father owned his own pest control company or something, and he was into real estate too. Sounds like he was caked up. That Bama Craig was driving a Jag to school. So he fell in love with you, madly in love. You broke his heart. Then he killed himself. Then I met Kumo, the drug dealer. Kumo turned me out. And then I turned Craig down. And then Craig murdered himself." I laughed, blew his brains out right in front of Maggie after prom night. Lucina leaned back, looking at me puzzled. "Oh, Maggie went back to him after you dumped him. Like a real big dummy. Thought she was outdoing me. Probably the shock of her life when he killed himself in front of her in that hotel room. No wonder she hates your guts. He even left a suicide note blaming me for the whole thing. Oh my God. You should have seen the way she was looking at me today," I said, cracking up laughing. "It was funny." Lucina looked at me a moment. She thought I was being mean and cold. And I was. And I didn't give a shit. "Why do you find this so funny?" Without any guilt juices running through my body, I said, "Because it is. And I still hate Maggie Foster." Lucina, looking at me as if she could see into a crystal ball at my future, said, "Netta, you better be careful."